Hi everyone, John Cottrell here of MBODY Yoga, and welcome to Soft Flow Yoga. Thanks for joining me. In this practice, we're going to focus on a pose called Navasana, which is boat pose. Now, boat pose is a seated posture that really helps to strengthen our core, really working our abdominal system. It's a wonderful way to build strength and endurance. So we will need some props today. I would recommend as we kind of get prepared for the practice. I would recommend a block or a hardbound book, something that you can sit on, and maybe even something soft to sit on, like a blanket or a towel. That's all we need, so let's get started. Let's begin our practice in seated, so we just get into our breath and prepare for our practice. Just want to start with a few deep breaths. You might inhale first, just to feel the expansion in your lungs. Fill yourself up. Then exhale through your mouth. Let's do that again. Nice full breath in and exhale. Good. And then just settle into slow, steady breaths. A wonderful way to get more in tune with your body and to prepare for your practice to be here now. Slow, deep breaths. Breathing helps us to be more centered and connected, more present. Breathing in this practice is also going to help us to engage our core. So that we're going to do a little breathing exercise to really help us be more connected to our core system as we get into Navasana or boat pose today. But first, just feel the rise and fall of your chest and belly, breathing in and out. Aware of the sensations within you as you breathe. And even listen to the sound of your breath. Very good. There's a breathing exercise that will help us to, again, connect to our core system. And the breathing will help us connect to our core. It's called the abdominal lock. Now, when we inhale, you want to feel the breath rising upward to fill the lungs. Even imagine your breath lives in your belly, and you're trying to inhale and pull it up to expand the lungs and keep that uplifting sensation. Now, when you exhale, you're going to pull your belly button in towards your spine, so your breath essentially doesn't drop back down into the belly. Again, we inhale, feel breath rise, fill the lungs, keep that uplifting sensation by creating the lock with the exhale. Pulling belly button in. When we do that, we create this light contraction of the abdominal muscles. That's the abdominal lock. We'll be using that as we move into boat pose. Now we're going to do variations of the posture so that you can find ways to have success with the pose. Let's do that abdominal lock one more time. So again, feeling the breath rise, fill your lungs. Exhale, draw belly button in, connecting to your core center. Very nice. Go ahead and relax. Let's transition. Still warming up. Let's come to our hands and knees. Here you might want to use some padding. I'm just using my blanket here. Just opened up so I can kneel on one end and have my hands at the other end. Cat and cow. We'll inhale, tip chin up, opening the heart. Let the belly drop and create this back bend as the pelvis tips back. That's cow pose. Exhale, starting with the back end. Try to tuck the pelvis under. The back will round, and you're still connecting to your center by pulling the belly button up towards the spine in this case, chin to chest. Reverse it. Inhale, tip the pelvis back, arch the back, belly drops, heart opens, look forward. Exhale, tuck pelvis under, feel belly button pull up towards spine, feel the natural curve of the spine, chin to chest. Do that 2 more times. And when you're complete, just come to stillness in a very simple tabletop position like this, looking directly down so you have a neutral neck. All right, so if you are using some padding, I'm actually just going to move my pad to this end, and actually I'm going to take a seat and go ahead and sit on the pad. You don't have to, just in case you just want a little softness. We're moving right into our boat pose. And like I said, we're going to move from, I would say, a more simple and approachable posture and make our way to a more advanced posture. But we'll take a break in between. All right, let's start with heels on the floor, feet flexed. Flexing the feet, just keep the legs active, knees bent here. And we're going to hold on to what I call the handlebars, just underneath the knees. And by doing so, we're able to lift up so we have a nice straight spine. Even imagine you're sitting up against a wall or in a straight back chair. That's an inhale. Again, filling up the lungs. Exhale, maybe through the mouth if you'd like, to feel the engagement of the abdominal locks. We have that sense of control. Now imagine you were sitting in an easy back chair or a lazy boy recliner and start to lean back just a little bit, not much. Now, the farther back we lean, the more tension we create in our core system. Now here, pretty light, but you can still feel the sensation. I'm back just at a little angle here. I'm going to inhale, get a little bit more extension through the torso, fill up the lungs, exhaling, engaging core. I'm going to lean back a tiny bit more. I'm making sure my head and neck stay in the same alignment as my spine, so my gaze is somewhat upward rather than straight ahead, which drops the chin, changes the sensation in my neck and spine. So the chin stays up. Again, leaning back a little bit more creates a little bit more tension. All right, now we're going to rest. So coming back up, you can even relax the legs, cross the legs. I'm just going to come to cobbler's pose or bound angle. We're going to inhale, get a little bit more extension through spine, and you can feel free to fold forward. This time you can actually lower the chin, let the back round. This is nice because think of this kind of as a counter move to that core conditioning, where right now my core muscles feel a bit more relaxed, and I'm getting a nice stretch in the back body. Now that's a nice variation of the pose where you're holding on to your legs. Let's say you need a little bit more support. Here's another version. I'm going to lift the chin to re-extend spine, hinge my way back up until I'm nice and tall. Let's take the legs back out, heels on the floor, feet flexed, knees bent. Rather than holding onto the knees, I'm going to bring the hands behind me or just somewhere on the floor back here so I feel I've got some support. Making sure the shoulders aren't too dipped forward. I'm trying to pull them back. Again, lifting chin to help open the chest. Now this could also be your boat pose position. I'm inhaling, even imagining I have a string attached to my sternum and it's lifting up. Exhaling through the mouth, feeling that core engagement. And I've got the support of my hands to help me at this angle, which means I can probably lean back a little bit more, putting more tension on the core system, but not too much where I'm going to get too fatigued too quickly. What I like about these variations of this pose is that we can probably hold the posture a little bit longer, which means we're going to get more of that effectiveness in that core strength and endurance building in our core system. Alrighty, I'm going to come back up. I'm going to do that first version we just did, holding onto the backs of the knees. Inhale, nice and tall, straight spine. Exhaling, pull belly in, leaning back a little bit. I want to see if I can go back a little bit more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lean. One more. Exhale. And I can really feel the tension here, which means I'm probably going to get tired more quickly, but that's okay because we're going to take another break. Holding on to the legs here, just going to lift myself back up. Let's return to crossed legs or bound angle pose. For a little back and core relief, nice and tall on the inhale, exhale, hinge forward. Rounding of the back, chin lowers down towards chest. I can feel that all the way down to my low back, which feels quite nice. Alrighty, now we're going to do this again, stepping into the pose a little bit more challenging. I'm just going to keep adding on to the difficulty of the pose. Now, I would say that each version they're all effective. It's just depending on where you are on your own yoga level, or if you just want to challenge yourself. Lifting the chin to help re-extend spine, hinging from hips, rising back up nice and tall. Same setup. I'm going to take the feet out, flexed feet, heels on the floor, nice knee bend, holding on to the handlebars here to lift up nice and tall, straight spine. Inhale. Exhale, starting to lean back, making sure the core muscles feel engaged using the abdominal lock. Now, I'm going to lean back a little bit more. First, inhale, get a little taller and longer. Exhale, leaning back. I can feel this activation. Now, this is the next part. My heels are on the floor, and you can always keep feet on the floor, but if you'd like, start walking the heels towards yourself slowly. I'm starting to lean back a little bit, but that leaning back is really just to find some balance in the body. Watch my feet, because soon they'll just be able just to easily lift up off the floor, because I found this balance in the seated position by leaning back. And now I'm just going to lift the feet until my shins are parallel to the floor. So here's another version of Navasana, boat pose. Still holding on, and I'm holding on just to lift up, lengthen spine, but more at an angle. Now, certainly going to get more fatigued here. If you're already fatigued, go ahead and bring the feet back down to the floor to relax. Inhale. Exhale. All right, I'm going to bring heels to the floor. And I'm going to extend the legs and carefully slide to a forward fold. Just like this. Just enough for a little stretch and release. Wonderful. Okay, we're going to do that again and just continue to add on. Alrighty, so we were able to get the feet up off the floor. Let's start to extend the legs a little bit. It's called boat pose because it really does take the form of a boat per se. You actually kind of form a V shape like that. So imagine that V shape is that boat, and it's just bobbing in the water. Okay, let's go ahead and bend the knees, heels on the floor, feet flexed. Hold on underneath the knees. Inhale, nice and tall, lengthen spine. Here's our setup. Exhaling, draw belly in, starting to lean back. Lean back a little bit more. Start walking the heels towards myself. Leaning back, finding that spot where I'm balanced and the feet just easily lift up off the floor without the active trying to pick up the feet. And then just lift until the shins are parallel to the floor. Do maintain flexed feet or even point your toes. Something active in the feet will keep the legs strong, helping you to hold the posture. I'm still holding on just to maintain the length in upper body, and then start to extend the legs. They don't have to be absolutely straight, but maybe a little bit straighter. Maybe even practice pointing your toes. If you can, yes, extend the legs. Certainly much more advanced. Okay, I'm going to bend the knees a little bit. Then the other thing is maybe practice freeing the hands. I can really feel this in the core system. If you go ahead and practice releasing, having free hands, try that, and then go right back to holding on. I'm going to move right into a more advanced version. This is really advanced for me. Pointing toes, freeing the hands, lifting. Here's my boat pose. I'm going to immediately hold on, bend knees, bring heels to the floor, and come out. So you can see how challenging that can really be, all the while really feeling the core system engage. And when we talk about core, yes, we are talking about our abs, but we're also talking about our back. It's actually our whole torso. So that's why in these little resting moments, we're taking this forward fold. So that's the completion of that practice. Let's do one more relieving pose, and it's bridge pose. So I'm just going to scoot forward so I can move my pad out of the way. Sitting in the center of the mat, roll down onto my back. And here's where you may want to have your yoga block or a hardbound book. I'm just lying down with knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and just allowing everything to relax. Nothing's engaged here. You can take a few deep breaths. And then once you feel quite settled, we're going to create a mild back bend. So with feet rooted into the earth, inhale, fill up the lungs, exhale through the mouth, engaging the belly, but also pressing feet into the earth to help lift the hips, then slide your book or block underneath you. I'm going to turn my block up one more notch here, so I'm a little bit higher, but then literally just sit on that book or block. I'm going to adjust my feet so I have a little bit more stability here, and then just arms resting down by my side. Now I've created this very mild back bend, a little stretch sensation for the front side. Hip flexors, thighs, and the low belly. Since they were so contracted in those boat poses, now this gives us a nice little stretch, but also in this very relaxed sensation. What you could do, still seated on the block, maybe just resting for a moment, but if you want to get a little bit more of that lengthening and stretch quality through the front side, all you have to do is just press feet into the floor, lifting hips a little higher, so you can feel more of that back bend sensation, more opening up through the low belly, hip flexors and thighs, and then just come back down. All right, let's just hold for a few more breaths. Let's take 3 more here. And then when you're ready, just lifting the hips high enough to remove the block out from underneath you, slowly return to the earth, and then extend the legs out on the floor in front of you. Arms remain down by your side, and just completely relax. And we'll hold here for a few moments in Shavasana. Another way to wonderfully relax the entire body, in particular our center body, our core system, after working through those boat poses. Just returning to the awareness of your breath, just as you did at the beginning of your practice, helping you to settle in, to be fully present here, now. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like. Wonderful place to relax the body and your mind. Even as I end the practice, you're welcome to stay right here. When you're ready to move, first take 5 slow, deep breaths just to generate an energy that can flow through your entire body. And that energy now produces movement. When you are ready to move, take your time. I'm just going to bend my knees, feet on the floor. That's just going to help me to roll to one side. Then press and lift myself up to seated. Good. Let's take one last movement together. Inhale, extend your arms out and up. As you exhale, bring your palms together and down to your heart. Take one more breath in and out. And as we come to the close of our practice together, we bow, saying, Namaste.
Thank you so much for watching and participating in this yoga lesson. To help us with the channel so we can continue to bring you more content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's really appreciated. Namaste.